Hello?
Oh, there they are. Oh, well. All right, I'm gonna get out of here then because I've got to get up out of here. This Raw was horrible. This is all the time of the Black Scorpion you're gonna get because I've got to train my new acquisition, Mustafa Ali.
Yes, I don't blame you, Black Scorpion, man. Yeah, I want to hit the hay after that show as well.
Well, you and Dr. Chris, you'll have a good time because I've got to go make some history.
Wow.
Nice. Wow.
Black Scorpion. Black Scorpion in the beginning, man. He had to, he had to open the show to give some type of excitement, man. And yikes, this was rough, man.
Yikes, bro. Yikes. This was awful. This was god awful. I mean, I know we come out here every week and say it's god awful. This was very very god awful.
This is a bad show, man. This is
bro. You're ending a 3-hour show with Nikki Cross. That's all you need to know, bro. Like, guys, if you didn't watch this show, they ended a 3-hour show with Nikki Cross on the screen. That's really all you need to know, bro.
And a good indicator is the fact that there was zero reaction. So she dives off, hits the ref. She comes back, she attacks Bianca, she attacks Bailey, and then she sits there. I mean, she stands there at the end, going toward the curtains, basically, the ending, the fade. And the crowd's just like,
it's like okay, so bro, I don't understand. So are we supposed to say this was a great Triple H creative idea? I mean, seriously, like, is that what we're supposed to say? Like, this is a Vince McMahon move.
It is.
Vince McMahon would end the show this way.
And my thing is, I reported on my show a couple months ago that I think I said it on here too. Nikki Cross is. I heard from some sources that Nikki ASH is supposed to go back to Nikki Cross, and so it was good to know that my sources were correct. But at the same time, my thing is this: you end, like you said, you end a 3-hour show. First of all, it's already a huge stretch. And the main event is a Bailey versus Bianca Belair match that, that wasn't really any build. It was the build was terrible. And then we bring in an element of Nikki Cross who attacks both of them. Now, why didn't this happen like early in the show? Like, my thing is, okay, if you want to bring in Nikki Cross, bring her in one segment among the 3 hours, not the whole, like not at the very end. The cliffhanger is Nikki Cross. I just don't understand how
Oh, you
that's
know
going
what it is? This
work.
is so bad. These are why, you know, bro, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me whatever you want. This is so bad that you have to start asking the questions like, are they setting her up for failure? There's no way in the world Nikki Cross gets over in this spot.
Yeah.
No way in the world, Chris. You know it's going to be like a fart in church. You know nobody's going to care. Are they setting her up for failure? Is this the last run where they could say, "Well, Nikki, we really tried and it just didn't get over"? That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it was bad.
And that's why you've got to examine those things, because how could a Triple H write this or oversee this as the ending of a 3-hour show?
And logically think that this was going to work. Like that's the thing, man. Like that's just nuts to me. Well, thankfully we've got Eman Perry 499 super chat, bro. Bianca loses after she beat 3 women at Extreme Rules by herself. She should be undefeated for 2 years like Roman. Blank makes no sense. You know, so here's the deal. I think that Bianca Belair losing on an episode of Raw that was absolutely garbage and there was no build to it, I think that hurts her character tremendously.
Well, it certainly doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. And if you want to make her a perennial star, you can't have her like again. I mean, you know, to Eamon's point, compare her to Roman Reigns. I mean, like if you want to make her a Roman Reigns, like stars barely lose. That's the thing. I mean, you and I, we've had a show about that before, and I actually went down the stats of Hogan and Savage and Taker. And I think Hogan was like had like an 80% winning overall winning record in WWE, like 80%. And there's a common theme that losses matter a lot when someone who doesn't lose a lot, you know. And to have Bianca Belair just randomly lose on a stretched out 3-hour Raw because of Nikki Cross. Is that like, did they really think, Vince, that this is protecting her character for some odd reason? Like,
I guess they're thinking, and again, bro, this is what's so bad about it. I guess they're thinking, well, bro, she didn't get beat by one girl. She got beat by 4 because the other 2 girls are ringside like they are every week. All of a sudden, the champion has no backup anymore. We were seeing Asuka and Alexa Bliss for weeks and weeks and weeks. All of a sudden, there's nobody backing up the champion anymore, and it's god awful, bro. Listen, man, the only people that are going to like anything about this show are the people that fall in the category of they're going to put over whatever the WWE does. Because this is ridiculous, bro. I mean, off the bat, the same Rhea Ripley spot, bro. The same. We've talked about this spot for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's still allowed at ringside. The same Rhea Ripley spot. These girls are allowed ringside with Bayley. So we get the same outside interference with them. Referee really looked like a blithering idiot in one of the matches, you know, that we'll get to. I don't even remember which one it was, but one of the matches he looked like an absolute idiot. Like, bro, again, man, if you're one of those WWE diehards, you know, that you're going to put everything over, then this show is for you.
Yeah. I mean, the opener was the Judgment Day cutting a promo as normal, interrupted by the OC. Finn Balor defeating Carl Anderson, and this is the spot where Rhea Ripley slams Luke Gallows.
Yeah, and this was a spot where they made the referee look so freaking stupid, bro. So incredibly stupid.
And oh, what's going on? Like all of a sudden he just keeps looking straight at, he's
So
blinded toward everybody else
oh,
because he's
bro,
helping
come
someone to
on.
get injured.
Can you imagine a referee being this stupid
Yeah.
and being employed by the WWE? Like, just think about that for a second, bro.
Just
Think
no,
about that.
just no awareness of anything around him because he's just so
Bro, I
blinded
was just
by.
reading a story today, right before I came on the air, that an NFL referee was caught asking players for autographs. You know that dude's getting fired. I mean, you know he's done. Look how stupid these refs are week after week after week, but yet they still somehow miraculously have a job.
Yeah, it just, I'm good friends with Marty Elias, and he was talking about how just the advent, like how referees were told during his time, to look like very, very minimal, like to not really be a factor, in the match. And I'm like, man, like long gone are the days of Tommy Young and Nick Patrick, you know what I mean? And it's just like those people, and Danny Davis, right? When he was a ref turned, Hart Foundation member with Jimmy Hart, when referees actually meant the Hebners, the twin segment with both Earl and Dave Hebner, you know what I mean, with the Hogan and Andre spot. Long gone on the days of when referees meant something. Now they just feel just like blithering idiots. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, and that's a very emasculating and demoralizing role to have as a referee nowadays.
Yep.
You're like, oh man, I'm super not aware. Like, you're supposed to be one of the best referees in all of pro wrestling, and you're like zoomed in on an injury spot while like there's a bunch of people flying behind you and low blows and all types of stuff. It just makes absolutely no sense to me.
It's just an insulting of our intelligence, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, the OC is looking weak already, man. I mean, you just have this big old, man, these returns are feeling very Tony Khan-ish, man. It just, you're just bringing in a lot of people for the sake of, like, you're not really pushing people. You're just continuing to bring people back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and they start within weeks, they just feel 50-50 again. That's a
And
lot
bro,
like AEW.
yeah, and Rhea Ripley body slamming Gallo, bro. That's a baby face
It
move.
is. It
For a
is.
woman to body slam a guy, that's not heat.
Yeah.
People are gonna cheer that.
Yeah.
That's not
Exactly.
heat.
Yep. I thought about the same thing when I thought about that. And here's the thing. This is what is crazy to me. So they're doing this deal with Rhea being like looking like the strongest person of Judgment Day, but she has some type of halo around her that people can't hit her because she's a woman now, but she can just hit, low blow, slam, and do all these things. What's the payoff here? Are the OC gonna get like Nikki Cross or something like that
Yeah,
to like be able to hit her?
Dewdrop. They're gonna get
There you
Dewdrop.
go, Dewdrop. They'll get
Dewdrop
Dewdrop.
needs a spot.
Yeah, she does need a spot.
Yeah.
Joseph Gonzalez with the 499 super chat, bro. In my opinion, Bianca has been falling into the danger zone of being stale. She has no good writing behind her, no character development. You feel the same? What do you think, Vince?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, bro, she's a stallion. We've said it, bro. She's special. She's a freak of nature. We've said it. We've put her over to the moon. If you don't have character and storyline, you're another wrestler on the roster, bro.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
and they all become just another wrestler on the roster.
Yeah, I think the thing is, to me, people are so quick to be like, yeah, turn her heel, or like, I don't like when people say like as if the end all be all or the answer is turning her heel. Like, if she's a baby face, you if you want to like her, you shouldn't want her to turn heel in
Right.
order for her to change. Like, that's counterproductive. So it's like, remain a babyface, but get her into some type of deep rooted story to really bring out, her characters, bring out her Tennessee track, bring out Montez being her husband. You know what I mean? Like start doing more things like that. And
Yep.
I think we'll get more of an interest. It's not a matter of her getting stale because she's a stallion, like we said, but at the same time the WWE is not giving her opportunities to really show her character. They're just throwing her in matches and having her the same girl interviews. It's just the same type of cookie cutter, I can basically fill in the blanks for you type of interviews. That doesn't really put layers. And I talk about this all the time. Layers. That doesn't put layers on her character if it feels the same. But everybody's starting to feel like that though.
Yep. I agree, man. I agree.
Next we have R-Truth versus The Miz. I say it all the time, man. I'm a Joey. Very nice. Oh, we forgot about the in-ring promo too. So before that, Jason Kidd's got he's going to call for Joey. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo's called the timeout. We're going to give it to him. Joey.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
I love timeout, Joey. Bro, Gargano's walking around the back with a whistle now.
Yes,
like come on, bro. Like the lowest common possible denominator.
Yeah.
Now because he's the whistle blower, I'm gonna blow. I gotta blow. I blow. Come on. Again, bro, the great Triple H strikes again. And listen, man, I don't even know if the guy's back at the show. All I know is he supposedly is responsible for all this. This is a Vince McMahon once again. Yeah, Johnny Gargano is going to blow the whistle. Therefore, he's walking around with a whistle around. This is Vince McMahon 101, bro.
Yeah. Somehow this is supposed to put more intrigue in his character, but he lost today in a wrestling match. As if it's just weird, man. You're throwing him in a wrestling match, although you want his character to be interesting. He's in the Miz. He's involved in the Miz. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, but we still going to have him be in a match later on the night and just lose. I don't understand what their premise is in developing these characters, but it seems like they're trying to fill in the time so much that you can't just take Johnny Gargano out and try to just put layers on his character to see what he does with this. I've got something to tell, which seems like it should. What seems like it's probably going to be, a reunion of him and Ciampa. They were teaming in NXT for a while, teaming and feuding in NXT. But it's like at the end of the day, though, take him away from the ring. Let me see the character of Johnny Gargano. Is he funny? Is he cool? But you put him back in a match, a long segmented match. It seemed like it went forever.
Yep.
And then we'll talk about Corbin too here in a minute. R-Truth versus the Miz. So Miz cuts an in-ring promo. He gets interrupted by Johnny Gargano. Appearance by R-Truth. Like I always say, man, I'm a sucker for R-Truth, man. I think this guy's just
but again, it's life. How they get to just book a cold match. I want the truth. Yeah, here comes the truth. Like I know, but it's so simplistic and freaking stupid. It's like, okay, bro, so you're looking for the truth. Here comes R-Truth. This is how we eat up another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's what we're talking about here, bro. That's the whole show. This is how we eat up 10 minutes.
Yeah. He was at his hometown, though. So
I understand that, bro. Yeah. I really do. But, bro, when the angle of the match is, I'm not going to let you insult macaroni and cheese. Come on. Again, bro, if this were a parody of a wrestling show, this stuff would be gold.
I think that's the thing with R-Truth. He's become a parody, though. Like R-Truth's like a walking parody. And it's like everything about R-Truth is just like tongue in cheek, super, super just slapstick type of deal. And I think for him, he's just like, man, where you need me? Okay, all right, And I think like there was times where like he tried to pop Vince, and he said, I heard that Vince would like belly laugh all the time at the back for R-Truth. And he tried to pop Lesnar too, and he ended up popping Lesnar in the ring too. So Truth just goes out, man, and just tries to pop people. And he's just like a big old punchline nowadays, man. It's like, hey, look, you're gonna pay me 6 figures to go out there and be a punchline and beat the Miz. Okay, I'll see you in a few months. You know what I mean? So he's living his best life. I got to give it up to R-Truth, but at the same time, it doesn't develop anything. But at the same time, he is Charlotte's own. So I guess Charlotte does get some type of benefit.
But again, bro, how many times have you said this? The world is watching, bro. Who gives a crap about Charlotte, North Carolina, unless you live there? Yeah. Nobody cares, bro. That's great for a house show.
That's true.
Cares at home,
but no one. That's the problem, though, Vince. Like, they're not really booking for the world is watching anymore.
No, not at all, bro. They're
booking. They're booking for the crowd that's there.
Right.
And so they just so happen to have a couple of million people, 1.5 to 2 million people watch this house show, play out live is basically what happens. And they don't book for the casual fans. They don't book for the people watching. It's this big old bubble that they're expecting somehow more people to watch this bubble show, and so it just doesn't.
And Chris, I do want to point out, again, I'm talking about facts and numbers, all the Triple H, all the hoopla. Friday SmackDown did less of a rating than last year's SmackDown on the same date. You have to look at that stuff, bro. That is telling you whatever. Triple H has been doing this for 3 months or whatever. Bro, they're doing they lost an audience from this time last year. You have to look. That's the measuring stick, bro. You could have all the opinions you want. That is a legitimate measuring stick, which is telling you they are still failing to grow the audience, bro.
Yeah, that's true. It is sad. SmackDown's a more solid show because they stack it up, but still, it's still not appealing enough, unfortunately. So next we have backstage interview. Your girl, Candice LeRae. It's time for double take from Joey.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
Bro, you know what's so absolutely pathetic and piss poor? So the ending of this match is Gargano in a black hood, and Miz thought it was Loomis, but it was Gargano. Bro, can I ask you a simple question? Where was Loomis on this show? Bro, think about this for a second. This was the guy that was supposed to be a cold-blooded lunatic murderer, kidnapper, breaking into the house, this and that. So then last week, he gets hit with a chair. He doesn't have a comeback. And the following week, he's not on the show.
Yeah.
Bro, this is how you kill your... And Chris, let's be honest. Why isn't he on the show? Because they don't know what to do with him.
Right.
That's why he's not on the show. Meanwhile, bro, this is how you kill your characters, bro.
Yeah. They definitely had him look pretty weak. Yeah. So They had, so it was, the ratings for Friday was
2.2, I think.
2.23, and last year's was 2.24. So yeah, about
I think
almost
2%. I think 2% or something.
almost 20,000 viewers less. Yeah. So yeah, 18,000 viewers.
And I'm not nitpicking over the 18,000 views. What I'm saying is they're still not growing their audience. That's what I'm saying. Forget about the 18,000 viewers. It's the same audience. They're not growing their audience.
Yeah, well, it's down from last week. 43,000, even with Bray.
Chris, I will tell you this: when Ed Ferrara and I took over at WCW, and anybody can look this up, the show they did without us, Bret Hart and Chris Benoit, it was coming off of Owen's death. They wrestled a 3-segment match. That show that night did a 2.6, not 2.6 million, 2.6, which is higher than 2.6 million. In 3 months, when Ed and I came in and we wrote for 3 straight months, the last show I wrote before I went home, Chris, and this is all documented, did a 3.6. So we went from a 2.6 to a 3.6 in 3 months. Well, Triple H has had his 3 months. Nothing's changing here, bro.
Except for more returns and making.
And let me tell you another thing, because you were about to go on to the Candice LaRue gimmick. Bro, if they're not scripting interviews anymore, this came across as the most scripted interview I have seen in the last year.
Yeah.
No question about if this girl was speaking off the cuff, wow, bro, she needs a lot of work.
Yeah. Man, who is this appealing to? Like, who is this for, is what I'm asking. Like, who's the crowd for this? Like, who's going to be like, yeah, man, I've been waiting all night for the Candice LeRae interview. Like, legit question. I don't know, Vince. Like, who's the crowd? Who's the appeal to this segment here?
I don't know.
Like, if you had any guess of, like, when they're writing this particular segment, hey, Kathy Kelly, sit down interview with Candice LeRae, damage control, interferes, attacks Candice LeRae. What's the point? What's the appeal there? Is it supposed to get damage control over? Is that the point of this?
No, I guess the point is, bro, so 2 weeks from now, when they're beating down Bianca Belair, Candice LaRue can come and make the save. That's seriously, that's why.
But she's not over, though, on the main roster. Like, she doesn't get hardly any type of reaction at all when she comes out. Is this going to do it, though?
Bro, are the Sky Sisters over at all? Like, at all, bro.
Man, this is rough. This is rough, man. It's like, man, is this really what we're going to see for Raw in the foreseeable future, man? Like, at least on SmackDown, like when Roman Reigns came back, SmackDown was starting to get pretty stale for a moment. And when Reigns came back, he really injected a lot of interest in SmackDown over the past couple years. And so I'm thinking, like, what can it be that injects that interest in Raw? But here's the thing, though, Vince. I was thinking about this too, and we got a super chat coming up here. I really think the death knell of Raw is 3 hours, making it.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about that, bro. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I'm going to be honest. The first 9 shows Ed Ferraro and I wrote for Nitro were 3-hour shows. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. With the roster we had, I had no problem writing a 3-hour show for 9 episodes. Now, if that would have went on for a year or 2 years, could it have been a problem? Maybe. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, with the roster we had, it was not a problem for us. But, the way they book this thing over 3 hours, yeah, bro, that is definitely the death knell. But here's an interesting question, bro. You say Roman Reigns injected some life in SmackDown. Bro, the answer to your question is the only one who could have done that on Raw was Bray.
Right.
That was the only one. Like, bro, I swear, if I tuned into Raw and Bray was on it, that would be the only thing I would care about. Okay, what's Bray going to do? But no, bro, they don't even put him on this show.
He's on SmackDown. Yeah. I don't know what can happen to have them inject life in Raw. I think that even if they try to inject life in Raw, the 3 hours is it's really making it tough. It's really, really, really making it tough, man. And I was like, what is it about Raw to me that just feels so disconnected? And it's like, it's because I have to follow 3 hours of an episodic television show. Like, there's no other episodic television show that's 3 hours long. It's usually an hour, 90 minutes, and it's like you have specials that are 2 hours, season finales. I'm a big Survivor fan. My wife and I, that's our show together. And it's usually an hour, but sometimes I have 2-hour shows. And it's a bit of a stretch, but at the same time, it's intriguing enough to say, oh, okay, so they're combining 2 tribal councils and doing things like that. The 2-hour mark was like, okay, cool. This is interesting. A little bit stretched this week, but I can still buy into it because it's very intriguing. Now, Survivor, and I love Survivor. If Survivor was 3 hours every week,
I agree with that.
I wouldn't be. I would disconnect from it, man, because it's so long.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
It is, man.
I could say the same thing with bro. As much as a baseball fan that I am, bro, those games are over 3 hours.
Yeah,
bro, I'm not glued to the TV for 3 hours.
Right.
Bro, sometimes I just I need a break from the game. So I'll go over to YouTube for a couple of minutes, and I'll go in and out. But the thing with Raw is, like the baseball game will have my interest.
Yeah.
This will not even have my interest for me to want to leave and then come back.
And I'm a huge college basketball fan. I was a college football fan. I love college basketball too, but I'm a huge college football fan. And their college football games are 3 hours.
Right.
It's you have 4 15-minute quarters. And so in theory, it's 30-minute halves. But of course, the timeouts and the plays and things like that. But here's the thing. You have 2 15-minute quarters in the beginning. Then you have a whole 20 minutes of halftime, recapping the first half. This is some things that needs to be adjusted. These are some things that was going right. It was going wrong. Here's some threats here. Here's some surprises. So you're doing that exciting commentary about the first half that's already creating a cliffhanger for the second half.
Right.
It's not just a full straight 3-hour run. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's a break in between the two that gets you kind of recharged and refueled and excited. And it leaves that level of suspense going into the second half.
Right. Yep.
But it's like for Raw, there's no opportunity to have a level of suspense. You literally have to watch one show for 3 hours. And it's like movies are like a little over 2 hours long typically. Shows are 1 hour long. games are, and then you have even the seventh inning stretch. You know what I mean? Like even with baseball, there's still a pause in the game that's getting a break and getting you excited about the rest. So it's like with anything, man. Same thing with basketball. There's halves. It gives you excitement for the rest of the show.
Right.
Raw is the only show that has a long stretch of 3 hours with no excitement in the middle, no break, no nothing. You really have to be involved in that one show for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's super long for me. And I think at the end of the day, for me, Vince, that's what it is. It's just like it's too long. If it was 2 hours, I don't think I'll definitely be very critical of it still, but I'd be less critical because it still will leave some type of room for a cliffhanger, perhaps, but you get so disconnected from the show to even care about the cliffhanger for next week.
Yep. I'm with you, bro. I agree with you.
Alex with the $4.99 super chat, bro. How successful would Harlem Heat sucker have been in WWF? Some more or less than WCW. Side note, who was bigger, BA, Booker, or Stevie?
I don't think they would have been as successful and that's the reason why Stevie Ray didn't go there, because Vince McMahon would have written his white version of Harlem Heat. And Stevie would not. Stevie doesn't have the temperament that Booker does. Stevie would not have gone along with that. So I don't think that would have worked in WWE. I think, I think Stevie is the bigger badass only because, bro, he's the older brother. And Booker's like the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like Stevie has always been like the bigger brother. So I just always felt like he was more of the badass than Booker.
Gotcha. Good question. Thanks for answering. Next we have Austin Theory defeating.
Well, you got Riddle and Elias in the back.
Yeah,
with the Alpha.
Well, yeah.
Bro, how useless is the Alpha? Like how useless are these guys, bro? Like how useless?
Yeah, they're starting to be enhanced nowadays. So it looks like they were teasing the breakup of Elias and Riddle. I'm super surprised though that Elias isn't getting the reaction that I was expecting him to get. He's kind of flat from the fans. Now, I like the light thing that they did in the beginning, but I was expecting him to get a much bigger reaction. I think they stretched the Ezekiel thing way too thin. That people like, it's just Elias. You know what I mean? Like I think that's probably what the issue was of them stretching that too thin.
Yeah, again, bro. I just think it's lack of storytelling.
Yeah. So somehow the story's supposed to be let me see. Let me get Sean's super chat. We got another one here. Oh yeah, Sean. $4.99 super chat, bro. Doesn't it feel like the only excuse for writing TV that's this painfully mind-numbing is that it's a holding pattern for an eventful company sale?
No. I think you've got a wrestler in charge of creative, Sean. I honestly do. And what do wrestlers know? Wrestling. So that's why on this show you're going to get wrestling. That's what they know. So I don't think it has anything to do with a placeholder or a sale, anything like that.
And I definitely wouldn't want to be buying the WWE with how it looks like right now, as far as like the product, you know what I mean? Like if I'm not looking at growth. I mean, granted, from a television deal standpoint, they're making tons of money from a television and international affairs and things like that, digital media standpoint. Their partnerships and things like that, they're making a ton of money. So, kudos from that from a business standpoint. But at the same time, your bread and butter are those networks. And if the networks pull out because they're not seeing growth, I mean, basically your legs are being cut up from under you. So I think that's one of those things that you can't keep banking on that, the deal with Peacock and the YouTube ads and things like that. Your bread and butter is that network. And so That's you want to talk about cuts. If you that network, say, yeah, Fox, because again, you can tell that USA and Fox, their attention to those are two entirely different ball games, because they're more of an asset for USA and a liability for Fox, because this is their first deal for Fox, their opportunity to make it big, and they get 600,000 to 700,000 more viewers than Raw does, and they're just kind of phoning it in on Raw because USA, like they're like that's who they are. That's what they bank on. USA is not this big old network that's bringing in a lot of other shows, so Raw is their bait, their bread and butter basically. But for Fox, they're like, hey, we can take it or leave it. And you can tell that in the booking too. That's why people like Roman Reigns, who's a champion for both brands, and Bray Wyatt and things like that. That's the reason why they push them over on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next we have Theory and Mustafa Ali. Ali is he loses a match. He's supposed to set this up for he's supposed to set up a US title match against Seth Rollins, but he loses the match against Theory. So does this mean that Theory should be in Mustafa Ali's place? How are you going to 50-50 him into a title shot?
Theory?
Ali.
Bro, listen, how they think they're going to get this guy over is just beyond me. And I don't think they care. I don't think they care.
Really? Why do you think he's even in this spot?
Because him and Seth are going to have a good match. That's the only that is the only reason. He will have a good match with Seth. That is it. Bro.
But the fans do not care about Ali, even to the point of they're singing for Seth. And then when he came back and attacked him, the fans booed him. Yeah. Like, that's how they feel about Ali. This whole Seth type of, fan singing, Ali is the worst person to not make the fans, sing for Seth anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to sing for Seth more because they care about Ali less. So if you want to keep Seth as a heel, Ali's definitely not the person to dance with. That's
yeah,
sure.
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Seth went to bat for this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Seth said, I want to work with this guy. Well, that's great that you want to work with him, but just know that nobody's going to care.
Nobody's going to care, man. And it's like, if you really want to work with him, though, I think you need to do a better job with getting the heat. Yeah. Like, Seth isn't really getting heat much. And, he's eliciting the cheers and wanting to sing. And if you really want to get Ali over, this isn't the way to do it. That's for sure. So, next we have Omos defeating 4 enhancement talent. 4 enhancement talent, man. Are you not entertained, Vince Russo?
They've not, with all these jobber matches, enhancer talent, they have not gotten this guy any more over 1 iota, bro. Not one.
They're making him feel so they're basically beefing him up for Braun. So for Crown Jewel, and he's going to put Braun over, but they want to beef him up first. So here's another opportunity. So Omos is like the resident, get beefed up just to go, just to put the whatever baby face at the moment over. Basically, is what happened. So I can definitely see them doing that. They're doing that for Braun this time. I can definitely see Goldberg being one of the people who Omos puts over. They're going to get Goldberg.
We talked about this. They have a history of not being able to get big people over.
Nope, they don't. Elias defeating Chad Gable. Yeah, man. I mean, this is what you get. How long? Okay, okay. Let's play a little game here. 4 weeks, and I want SK Nation to be a part of this game too. All right. Let's give it, let's say 4 weeks. 4 weeks, Elias will, no, 6 weeks. 6 weeks, Elias will turn on Riddle. Over or under?
Oh, definitely under.
Under? Okay.
Definitely under. Yeah.
What do you think, SK Nation? So,
Yeah.
6 weeks is basically the second week of December.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks, 6 weeks, SK Nation. Elias will turn on Riddle. Over or under? Under. SK Nation.
Oh, yeah, bro.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So why are they so really? So y'all think it's gonna be that short?
Oh yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Under. It looks like it's unanimous under. Awesome sauce. $5 super chat, bro. SK Nation pulling through tonight.
Bro, that would be better than what they're doing.
I think the only way they can salvage Omos is repackage him as Giant Gonzalez's son and have him wear the Bigfoot suit.
That's better than what they're doing now. I might actually pop for that, bro. I might actually pop for that.
And have him bring the Baron von Roski claw too.
Yeah.
That's what you got to go. Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that someone will steal that and tweet it. the Baron von Roski claw from Vince Russo. So it was something that you did, and like immediately after the show, someone sent me a screenshot of it. It was absolutely hilarious. Oh man! Next we have Baron Corbin defeating Johnny Gargano. Looks like JBL is a mainstay, so he comes out. He cuts a promo. He tries to get heat for Baron Corbin. People still don't care. And then he goes and does commentary, tries to get more heat. Like I said before, Vince, same thing happened with Paul Heyman when people who came that was not able to be outshine Heyman on the mic, as a character, they just get shadowed. I mean, they're basically just shadows.
Yeah.
And it's like unless you were Brock Lesnar, see, like when he was with Paul White ish, his Kurt Angle affiliation ish, when he was during that feud. But like it was, he was with Brock, he went with Paul White for a second, the Big Show for a hot second. That was a bit odd, but Brock Lesnar worked, definitely. Roman Reigns worked, CM Punk worked, but everybody else just about he overshadowed.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work if he's more over than the talent. It didn't work for Cesaro.
Yeah.
It didn't work for Heidenreich. It didn't work for Ryback. It didn't work for Curtis Axel. Those are proof that those wrestlers weren't more over as a character than he was. And Baron Corbin is the same way. But when people look at both of them, they're looking at JBL. Like Baron Corbin is just an afterthought of JBL coming out and cutting the promos.
I agree.
That's not going to help Baron Corbin's character,
Not at all.
man.
Not at all.
It's going to make him look even weaker.
Bro, it comes down to, again, you've got to make us care about these people.
Exactly.
Bro, I just watched, the American League Championship Series, National League. I watched every game. Bro, the announcers have a story for every ball player. Every ball player, there is a backstory. And believe it or not, bro, because of that backstory, you start picking out certain people that you want to see do well. There's no story with these people, bro.
Yeah, it just feels like some made up characters that they're just expecting the fans to react to. When Corbin comes out now, he just looks so generic. It's like you have this big heel Wall Street, I'm better than you character with amazing mic work. And then he announces Baron Corbin that basically it's like he comes out and some gambling casino money, like it's totally different than what he's like he's the modern day wrestling god, Baron Corbin, slot machine, here we go, come out, some really normal gear. It boggles my mind how they're trying to make him somebody affiliated with JBL, and it's just not working, man. It's not working. And he has the ability to be a heel. I mean, there were times where Corbin was a good heel, but he's so trapped into this character. I think they really, really jumped the gun with this because they could have had him repackaged completely with an entire different character. I would have bought into that much more than some type of like a soft version of the happy Corbin, but his name's Baron again, but he still is, hit the jackpot. And that really didn't go anywhere anyways. I think they're really putting him in a tough position, man. I really think they are. So, Rollin 99 super chat, bro. Since there was this long storyline between Kevin Owens and Ezekiel about Ezekiel being Elias, shouldn't there have been some type of interaction between Owens and Elias by now? Did I miss their segment? No, they just decided to turn Owens heel, and then that just disappeared. That's
yeah, they don't, Rollin, what again? I'm such a broken record here. They don't know what to do. That's what it really comes down to. They don't know what to do, so they just drop it.
Yep.
They just drop it, bro. You need writers that know what to do and know how to tell that story. If you want to end the story, they know how to end the story. They don't have that, so they just drop everything, bro.
Yeah, indeed. Next, we have Bianca Belair backstage interview. I also have backstage Johnny Gargano and The Miz, more of the whistleblower stuff. And then we close the show with Bianca Belair losing to Bayley on an episode of Raw.
What is with closing these every week with a women's match? Like what is that, bro? Where's Bobby Lashley?
They were supposed to be building him, for that big. They showed us a segment, video package, but
yeah, but no, I'm not talking about video. But where is he on this show?
He's nowhere to be found.
I swear, I feel like every week they're closing with the same women. Like every single week we're seeing this, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that a Stephanie? I don't know, bro. I don't know, but. Man, bro,
this is the time to really make him visible more than anything. It's because I heard that they're really supposed to be pushing him, and this is the time to make him notice. You have a 3-hour show. Why would you not have Lashley be visible in some way? And you have 3 hours to make him. Makes no sense at all, man.
Nope.
Zero.
No.
So what happens next with Nikki Cross?
Oh, jeez, bro. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So they close. You're building to. So Crown Jewel is a week from Saturday, Vince, and you're building Crown Jewel by having Nikki Cross close the show. And here's the thing. If there's a difference between someone returning from, to an old gimmick, but if you have someone who's coming back and closing this long 3-hour show, you better make it good. Otherwise, it's DOA. And like when you basically what's going to happen is somehow in the beginning or the middle of next week, Nikki Cross is going to come out and beat Bailey. I think the cliffhanger is why'd she beat up Bianca? Why'd she beat up Bailey? Whose side is she on? And what I think is going to happen is this is only means that she's going to be a part of a triple threat match at Crown Jewel, and she's gonna lose to in the match. So like again, another TK type of deal. I'm gonna bring somebody in, another return to throw on the wall, and within a few weeks, they're gonna feel like everybody else.
I just I just don't know how they could end a show like this with Nikki Cross, and you can sit there and tell me they actually care about this show. There is no way in the world. No. There is no way in the world that they can care about this show. I'm sorry, bro. Road Dogg, I'm sorry, guys. Like that's pathetic. I mean, when you got the trademark in the bottom right and Nikki Cross is on the screen, you've got to be kidding me, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, like, man, and Nikki Cross has never been billed as a big superstar on WWE at all.
No.
And again, if you have that trademark, at least do something that causes some suspense from the fans to someone just if they were clicking on channels and then they looked at that, they would see, okay, I wonder what happened. They would be more intrigued to either watch next week on YouTube if the fans were like really interacted. But it's like me going on the show and clicking on the show, and then it's just some type of really like just whack, just lousy type of ending. Or if I'm watching a game or something like that and flipping on the game, and it's like the crowd doesn't react with someone wins or something. Bro, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, the best part of it to me was roughly how long has Nikki Cross been with the company?
What is this? 22
years,
around
right? 3 years
altogether. About 6,
no, on Raw when they Alexa thing
about
and all that.
3. Yeah, when she was Alexa's.
Yeah, she's been with
4.
She's been with the company 3 and 4 years, bro. But yet the announcers didn't know who it was. Which that to me is
that who?
Yeah, right, bro. He does the frog splash to the outside, right in front of the announce table. Bro, if this girl has been with the company for 3 or 4 years and they don't know who it is, I'm supposed to care.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
on December 17th, 2008, Cross was advertised as one of the 6 NXT wrestlers about to be moved up to the main roster. She made her debut on January 14th, 2019. So it'll be 4 years and a couple months.
4 years and a couple months. Yeah, and they didn't know who she was right in front of the announce booth.
Yeah. But what is that? Who? So because she doesn't have her mask on anymore. So that's why. So somehow she's upset because I don't know, man. I don't know, Vince. I'm really trying to make.
You can't try, bro. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Therefore, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm trying, Vince. I'm trying to justify. I'm trying to make it make sense.
They want to put some effort into it. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't. Then I don't care.
It's our job on this show to try to make it make sense and analyze the segments.
Bro, you can't make sense out of it because they can't.
I can't.
They can't make sense out of it, bro.
Yeah, I got nothing anymore, man. With Nikki Cross, I just can't. She'll be there next week, and somehow next week she's supposed to get a big reaction or something. Like, do they really think that she's going to get a big reaction at all? I mean, like, she has, like, her character is like her as a character can be worked on. You know what I mean? Like, her with her in-ring ability and her character, ability from what I saw in NXT, if they really spend the time working on her character, it could work. But the problem is they're expecting fans to react to Nikki Cross because she's Nikki Cross. And you can't do stuff like that.
But the marks will.
Well, they didn't even react. And here's the thing, Vince. If the marks don't care about Ali and Cross, like you've really hit rock bottom at that point when it comes to booking. Like if the marks don't care though, like the casuals, they're not going to react. They're like, oh, whatever, who's this? But if people in Charlotte don't react to Nikki Cross and Ali, that really should be a litmus test of like you should probably change the plans real quick, because the more you try to drive it into it, the more it's going to make that character look worse, and it's just not going to work, and it affects the product as a whole.
Bro, the paycheck's the same from the USA Network.
Yeah.
And I had that conversation with them when we were, we were doing the consulting. I said to them, you mean to tell me that whether they draw 5 million people or 500,000, the payday's the same? And they said, yes. So I was like, then why would they try?
Wow.
Why would they try, bro? The contract should have been, bro, between 1 million and 1.5 million, you get this. Yeah. Between 1.5 and 2.5, you get this. Yeah. Bro, if they draw 5 million or 500,000 and the pay's the same, why aren't you going to write it in?
And you can tell.
Right.
You can tell for sure.
Right. And I that's why I even said that USA Network, I was like, this is on you guys.
Yeah.
There's no incentive for them to increase the audience. Yeah. None. They're getting the same amount of money from you guys no matter what they put on the show.
No wonder why they're just phoning in.
Yeah.
No wonder. Wow. Yeah. Very, very sad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's one guy who doesn't phone it in. This guy right here, Vince Russo. He doesn't phone it in because he cares about the people. Let him know about Channel Attitude, my man.
ChannelAttitude.com, guys. Check it out. There's a bunch of shows, a bunch of different personalities, a bunch of different topics, $1.25 a week. Check it out, bro, from people who know. ChannelAttitude.com.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Whoa, hey, what a
man. It always brings a tear to my eye, man. You know.
Oh man, what
Young Toots always brings a tear to my eye, man. Look at him.
Man, look, this Raw was just abysmal, but seeing your crown, man, it just brightens up my day.
Yeah, he always saves the day, Young Toots.
He does. Yeah. Young Toots. Thank you, Toots, for appearing tonight.
Thank you.
I was a little scared. You know, I was like, man, it was probably so bad that he didn't even want to show his face.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, he pulled through. He saw the dreariness that Vince and I were having.
Yes.
And he said, you know what? I'm going to do a run in. So Toots,
he's a people pleaser.
He is, man.
Yes.
He is. He's a baby face, man.
Yes.
He's a baby face. And he actually has a baby face too. So
yeah, he does.
He has a baby face, man.
Yes.
So thank you, Toots. Thank you for running in tonight, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Solo.